on, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name's Chris. I'm going to be your host for today, and this is round 2 of our March Madness Bourbon Bracket Single Barrel Edition. We have Blanton's, we have Evan Williams Single Barrel. I'm curious to see how these do against each other. Evan Williams being in that 86 proof range, Blanton's being at that 93 proof range. It's not too far off like our last contest where Jack Daniels overtook Heaven's Door Cash Strength Single Barrel. But you know the rules. Marissa's going to come down. She's going to pour these up. She's going to put them in our blacked out Glencairn so we can't even tell the color of these whiskeys. We're going to try them and pick our favorite strictly on taste. We're going to try and guess which one's which along the way. Make sure you click that like. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Let's get Marissa down here and do this.
Alright guys.
Alright, here we go. You might have noticed we're all dressed up tonight. I don't have a hat on. I don't know how my hair looks. Hopefully it looks terrible. I was wearing headphones earlier, doing some editing and stuff. But that's enough of that. We have Blanton Single Barrel versus Evan Williams Single Barrel. Let's talk about these. You probably already know all about Blanton's. Maybe you don't know too much about Evan Williams. Blanton's, coming from Buffalo Trace, coming from Sazerac, highly sought after. Everybody wants the horses. If you do or do not know, each one of these horses has a letter on it. This one happens to be a T. You can spell out Blanton's, ship it to Buffalo Trace, and they'll actually put it on like a nice little tray like this and ship it back to you. So that's why these are so highly sought after. This is 93 proof. This one is 86.6 proof exactly. This one is 8 years and 1 month particularly. It tells you on the back here. I kind of like this actually. It's handwritten on here. 2/7/13 was the barreled on date, and it even puts the put in oak sticker on the front of this, which is kind of nice, and then bottled on 3/16/21. Couple other things. This is obviously coming out of Heaven Hill at 78% corn, 12% rye, 10% malted barley. This one is an undisclosed mash bill. We do know that it's mash bill number 2 from Buffalo Trace, which is their quote-unquote high rye, which is that 12 to 15% range. I think that they're both, the big difference, the big discrepancy between these two is going to be the price. $65 versus like $27. If you're looking for an older, I mean, this is 8 years old. This is it's a lower proof, but it's an 8-year-old bourbon. It's coming out of Heaven Hill. It's a single barrel. There's not a lot that can compete with that on the market at $27, at least not that I'm aware of. Blanton's, it's got the name behind it. The price went up. I think it used to be $60. Now it's $65. Nothing crazy. I think for the hype value of this, I'm going to personally tell you my opinion on Blanton's. I think it's worth $60. I don't think it's worth what people are paying MSRP for. My first bottle that I ever got of this, I paid $100 for it. Was I mad I paid $100 for it? No, not really. I really wanted this bottle. I was new to bourbon. I understood that I was hunting it. I paid a little bit extra for it. I tried it. I'm glad I got to try it. But for $100, I wouldn't pick that one up again. For $60, if I needed a bottle of Blanton's, I'd probably pick it up again. Everybody knows, though, let's get into this. Time for the traditional sip. Let's try it out. Spicy. So whether you love or hate Buffalo Trace, it's kind of up to you. A lot of people hate it just because they can't get it, or they think that the marketing is a scheme and they're just playing these games to get you to try to buy their bottles. I don't think that particularly. I've loved I shouldn't say that. I've enjoyed everything that I've had from Buffalo Trace. I'm not going out and really hunting Buffalo Trace anymore, though, just because if the bottle falls in my lap and if I happen to come across it at MSRP, I will pick it up, like the E.H. Taylors of the world, the Blantons, the Wellers. I've tried enough of them that I think that I understand what Buffalo Trace is putting out, which is a very, very good bourbon, but I'm not overpaying for it at this point. Heaven Hill, obviously I love Heaven Hill. A lot of great products coming out of Heaven Hill. This single barrel for the value I think is absolutely fantastic. This glass right here, though, when I first sipped this, sipped spicy. And now I'm kind of thinking we've got 12 to 15% rye. We've got 12% rye over here. So they're both going to have a little bit of a rye spice. I think that Blanton's should be a little bit more well-balanced. And I'm only saying that because mentally, a $65 bourbon should be more well-balanced. So I think that this is going to taste good. I think it's just going to taste a little bit, I don't want to say funky. I think all the flavors will be fantastic. I just think it's not going to be as well balanced as what I should be getting from Blanton's. And right now, I'm kind of getting that off this glass right here before we even sip this one over here. All that being said, let's get into glass number 2. Let's try this out. Okay. Now, this is crazy. This is my second glass of whiskey for the night. Between these two, I'll have 3 glasses of whiskey for tonight. Always got to start the palate off with something nice. This, I thought maybe was going to be the Evan Williams at first. This does taste a little bit smoother to me. This tastes a little bit more well-rounded, I should say. But the flavor profile is very similar. This is our blue glass. This is our yellow glass. We can't tell the color, right? We can't figure out color-wise what's what on this. This is a lot closer off these first 2 sips than I thought it should be, especially for a bottle that's almost double MSRP and almost probably 5 times when you're talking the secondary market. A little bit of sweetness on this. Pretty good spice on this, like a cinnamon. I get more of a cinnamon kick on this one and more of like a black pepper on this one. A little bit harsher when it comes to the spice on this, but nothing crazy, nothing overwhelming. Still fantastic, still vanilla, still caramels. I'm trying to figure out which one of these I get more oak on. I think I get more oak on this first one, but again, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if I said this, but Blanton's is non-age stated. I don't know if you don't know that, Blanton's is non-age stated. This one in particular, just in case anybody cares, this comes from barrel 279. It was Warehouse H, which I believe all of the Blanton's original single barrels come from Warehouse H. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then it's Rick number 12. Dump date on 7/31/20. The hardest part about this is Marissa doesn't quite pour enough. She mentioned it in last night, no, 2 nights ago's video. She's like, oh, they're blacked out glasses. I don't know how much to pour. Chris is going to get drunk. She didn't pour enough to even get me drunk. There's only a little bit of liquor in this. I'm very lost on this one. I thought that I was going to be able to pick this one out pretty easily, but this is just showing you how good this Evan Williams is. And if you can't get your hands on something like Blanton's, maybe Evan Williams single barrel, which is probably sitting on your shelf more often at $27, is not a bad pickup at all. I'm trying to see if I can get anything off the noses here. Again, a little bit more harsh over here, a little bit sweeter over here. I do think that I called it right the first time. That first sip of this glass really threw me off though, because I did get a little bit of like a funkiness, a little bit of an experience that I don't normally get with Blanton's. But now that I'm going like back to it a few times, I'm starting to think that way. I'm starting to think Blanton's and then Evan Williams. But let's take a few more sips. We'll pick which one, and then we'll pick our favorite, because I don't know which one's my favorite yet. That's the best part. Oak. That's what I'm getting. This one is more oak, and I'm curious which one here would have more oak. Would the Evan Williams have more oak? It is an 8-year bourbon. This is non-age stated. I'm very curious here. This one is one of the best. I mean, we've only done one so far. Kentucky Spirit versus Russell's Reserve is going to be very interesting. And I think Elmer T. Lee versus John J. Bowman, while it's going to be close in the end of which one is my favorite, I think that they're going to be easier to tell apart. This one I thought I was going to be able to, but I'm just not. Again, I don't know which one I like better, but I do think, and I'm going to call this part, I do think this is Evan Williams, and I do think this is Blanton's, but let's pick which one we like better. We finished that one. We're going to finish this one too. Again, there wasn't that much in here. All right, there was more in here. Whew. Listen, this is the absolute best part about doing blinds, and if you don't do blinds at home, just do them once in a while. Put up a bottle that you love versus a bottle that you might not like so much. Put up proof versus proof if they're similar proofs, or even like Kentucky Spirit versus Russell's Reserve, something in the same mash bill and everything like that, because no matter what happens here, and I'm going to pick the yellow one, I'm going to tell you that right now, whatever is in this glass, if this is the Evan Williams, it didn't lose by much, and again, you're talking about a readily available bottle for half the price. That's probably just sitting on your shelf and people are passing up on because they're out here looking for this bottle. Again, Blanton's is absolutely fantastic. It has a spot in this world. People who hate on Blanton's, I don't really understand it. Probably paid double MSRP for it or got ripped off at some time. This is a great bottle at $60. It's an awesome look, which is also another thing that I went for with this bottle. But no matter what, if this happens to be Blanton's and this is the Evan Williams like I think it is, Evan Williams absolutely stood up to this test. All that being said, let's call it. We said the yellow glass was our favorite. We said that the blue glass is Evan Williams. So let's figure out which one's which. And I'm in my own head here because last night she poured Jack Daniel's Coy Hill in the same glass and the Heaven's Door in the other glass. So I'm thinking tonight she switched it, but who knows? Let's figure it out. Green is Evan Williams. That is correct. The yellow is Blanton's. Listen, this was close. I can promise you it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Again, if you can't get your hands on Blanton's, or you're out there looking for Blanton's and you want another single barrel that's readily available, pick up Evan Williams single barrel all day at $27. You're not going to be disappointed. But listen, that's where I'm going to leave you for today. Check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. We're giving away great prizes throughout this entire process. If you want to help support the channel, click the Patreon link in the description below. If you want to come chat with a bunch of bourbon like-minded individuals, come join us on Discord. That link is in the description below as well. Please don't drink and drive, drink responsibly, and we'll see you next week for round 3, which will be Russell's Reserve, the 2021 champion, going up against Kentucky Spirit. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Click that like, click that subscribe. Stay healthy, stay happy, and as always, stay drinking. Cheers, y'all. On the left.
Peace out.